Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Got a new Yu-Gi-Oh video for you guys today, and today we are finally messing with K9 Cyber Dragon. So a lot of people think this is going to be a very viable version of the deck, so you know, here on the channel where we love all things Cyber Dragon, we had to try it out. And I got some interesting results. So what you're looking at is an initial build that I threw together on stream. Definitely couldn't tweak with some of the ratios, but I'll talk to you guys about why I like the K9 stuff, why I went with these ratios, and potential tweaks that we can make. And then I've got some footage from some games that I recorded that I can show you guys, and it's all gonna be well and good. So if you guys enjoy this kind of content, drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Let's jump in, let's talk about the K9 engine. All right, so as you see, majority of it is still Cyber Dragon. Our Cyber Dragon engine works damn near the exact same way it's been working in every other build. And we actually have two combos that naturally lead into the K9 engine. I'm gonna show you guys those real quick. But let's talk about what K9 cards we actually have in the deck. So the best one is absolutely Izuna. This thing is an anti-hand trap. So if your opponent activates effect of a card in hand or in their graveyard, it triggers Izuna, turning Izuna into a quick effect. It gives Izuna the quick effect to summon itself from the hand, which then lets you dump a K9 card from your deck to the grave, which in most cases you want to send Lupus, because Lupus, if your opponent activated a effect in the hand, a monster effect in the hand or the grave, turns Lupus on, making him have a quick effect to special summon itself from the hand or the graveyard, and then during your opponent's turn you can quick effect make an XYZ with it, which we have two XYZs that we're running. There's three XYZs for K9. The third one's not really that good, but these two are pretty awesome. Then we're playing one copy of Yugioh. So Yugioh is good because it helps us unbrick our hand. Cyber Dragon and Jormungandr are still bricks in the hand. This deals with that. What Yugioh does is if your opponent has two or more cards in hand, you can either normal summon it without a tribute. They actually all have that effect. But its other effect is you can only use one of its effects once per turn. You can reveal this card and another level 5 and special summon them both from your hand. But they cannot be used for an XYZ material for a light monster. They didn't want us to succeed. But you can go right into the K9 XYZs. And then during your main phase, you can add one non-aqua K9 monster from your deck to your hand. So say you have this and Jormungandr. Jormungandr is normally a dead card if Cyber Dragon's out of the deck. You can summon this, summon Jormungandr, use this, get a search, overlay, go nuts. Because the XYZs, we're playing obviously Ripper. I got Ripper at 2 right now just for space. IP Masquerade doesn't really need to be in here, so I could probably take that out and put Ripper to 3 because Ripper is nuts. Ripper's any 2 level 5 monsters, so we can make it with our Cyber Dragons, we can make it with the K9s. You can attach a material, search a K9 card, and then if your opponent activated a monster effect this turn, you get to set a K9 quick play spell from the deck, which we're running one of, which is K9 LC Liberation. We'll talk about that in a second. Second effect, if your opponent activates an effect in the hand, a monster effect in the hand of the grave, you can attach a material to negate it, so it's a pseudo monster negate. Protects from every hand trap, and a lot of decks in the game right now use their graveyard as a resource, so being able to get an extra negate there is pretty nice. Let's talk about LC Liberation real quick. Target one K9 XYZ monster or rank 5 XYZ monster. So it doesn't have to be a K9 XYZ monster, it can be any rank 5, which, you know, if we're on Nova, for whatever reason we don't go into Infinity, we can swing with Nova and then use this to XYZ into a K9 XYZ. But special summon from your extra deck one K9 XYZ monster with a different name by using the monsters you control as material. It's treated as an XYZ summon and all the materials are transferred to it. At the end of your battle phase, if your K9 monster battle this turn, you can set this card from your graveyard. So that's why we're running one of. It has easy recursion. Last K9 card we're playing in the main deck is Case of K9. It's a continuous spell, which is awesome for Clockwork Knight. When this card is activated, you can add one K9 monster from your deck to your hand. K9 monsters you control gain 900 attack. The turn your opponent activate a monster effect in the hand or the graveyard. If this card is in your spell and trap zone is destroyed by card effect, you can set one K9 quick play spell from your deck or graveyard. So the gears should be turning for you Cyber Dragon players out there. Last K9 card we're playing is K9 X Werewolf. This thing is fucking cool. First off, the card art is nuts. For anybody that doesn't know, I was already interested in the K9 just because they're werewolves, and I have a huge love for werewolves. But this thing is way cooler than I thought it was, and this thing fits in a Cyber Dragon deck so well. While this card has materials, it can attack a number of times each battle phase up to the number of materials attached to it. Yeah. He's already starts off at 33. Remember that the spell card gives him 9k. He can be 42 swinging 3 times. That sounds like a goddamn Cyber Dragon card. Moving on. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can attach a material from this card and then activate one of the 2 effects depending on whose turn it is. If it is your turn, you can banish 1 card your opponent controls and or 1 card from their graveyard. I have footage where I played against a Blue Eyes player where I banished their trap card and then they're only Blue Eyes from their grave. Fire. And then the second effect, if it's your opponent's turn and they activate a card effect, you can look at your opponent's hand and banish 1 card face up until the end phase. You get to get hand knowledge off of this fucking thing. Just some quick plays real quick before we go into the combo. LC Liberation, you can, if you're going for OTK, you can go into Nova, swing Nova, pump Nova up to 42, then overlay into X Werewolf and get extra attacks like that, like super easy OTKs. And honestly, I didn't even think of that play till just now. It helps you with control because you can negate with Ripper and then LC Liberation into Werewolf, and now you get to rip a card out of their hand too. I've already explained how Azuma is good because that's the one you definitely want to see because that gets the whole engine going. Because this also this dumps Lupus. Lupus comes out, special summon Ripper gets you into a search, which can let you continue to combo off with Joe Cool based on what's in your hand. And it's just, let me show you the 2 1-card combos we have that actually bridge us directly into the K9 engine, and hopefully it'll inspire you guys to come up with combos of your own. All right, so this is what I came up with first off just the Cyber line. There's obviously a Cyber line, Cyber Dark line, and if you guys can come up with a better way to refine it to make it safer, let me know and we can definitely work that in. But we're gonna start off with our basic Cyber Dragon combo. So I'm gonna be talking over this. I'm gonna be going pretty fast. You guys have seen this combo a million times, especially on this channel. Now we link. Now you could link Chimera to chain block based on what's in your hand, but we're just doing this basics of the basics. Clockwork Knight. Unfortunately, unless you already have canines in hand, it does make this combo more susceptible to nib. But if you have just about any of the canines in hand, and whether it be Izuna to trigger stuff or Joe Cool, if you have level 5, you can set up Ripper, which Ripper can stop nib. We did that. Now we can link SP Little Knight. Effects to dump. Dump Worm. Activate Worm. Hurts. Summon Worm. See, like I said, this is just the basic Cyber Dragon combo. You guys have seen me do this before. Grab OG. Now, we don't need to discard OG here. We don't. We're actually going to discard Realm here. I guess it really doesn't matter too much. Well, we want Cyber Dragon in the grave because we want the level 5 in the grave. What we're going to do differently starts here. So we're going to Power Bond, get Rampage with Hertz and Corrigan. Bang, bang. And now, this is the important thing. We're going to send Jormungandr because Cyber Dragon's already out of deck. We don't want to have the brick in our deck, but we're also going to send Union Driver. This is the card that's going to bridge us into our other engine. Because now we go Nova. Detach, special summon OG Cyber Dragon. I didn't have to do this. I could have summoned Therion King first, but well, I guess it technically doesn't matter. Getting the Omni Negate out early could help. But now we're going to summon Therion King, equipping Union Driver. You see where this is going? Now Union Driver is going to special summon itself. And now we can overlay into Ripper. And then we can activate Ripper's effects to detach. We still get to keep a negate. I should have detached Cyber Dragon there, but that's okay. And now we get to add any canine card from our deck to our hand. Ideally, in this situation, either Izuna's good or Liberation, probably because we already have Ripper and Ripper's once per turn. Liberation's probably the better bet. But it's really easy to end up on 2 of these. One that you want to use for the negate, one that you want to link over. So now, this is the basics of the basics. We have Infinity's negate, we have SP's banish, we have Ripper's negate, we have Regulus's negate, and we have Liberation to get us into Werewolf, which will also have Werewolf's effect. So that's 5 to 6 interruptions right there. And that's off a 1-card combo. Now, you know, if we're going to have a Cyber Dragon line, we got to have a Cyber Dark line, right? And thankfully, this bridge is just as easy. We do have to jump through a few more hoops with the Cyber Dark combo, but you'll see how it still connects the 2 engines together. Same basic Cyber Dark line. Now remember, when we use Worm, we can send any Cyber Dragon. It doesn't have to be Hertz or anything like that. We just don't want to send an OG Cyber Dragon because we want to get that into the grave. Now we add our Cyber Spell or Trap for discard fodder. Boom. Now this combo can also be really easy modified, where like we can discard the Realm and keep the Clockwork Knight to be able to play the Clockwork Knight. But this time we're going to discard the Realm. Get the Power Bond. And remember, we used to have to banish Hertz to be able to do our fusions properly. We don't need to do that this time, so we can go into SP Little Knight right now. We don't need to banish anything. You can go Power Bond. Banishing Core and Worm. We can get Therion King now, but we cannot summon him yet. We cannot summon him yet. I made that mistake many times trying to get footage for this video because I'm a dumbass. But now we have to get rid of Core and Hertz. Hertz effect is going to get us back to Core because we haven't done our normal summon for turn. So now we normal summon. Grab Cyberload Fusion. The reason I said we don't need to banish Hertz now is because we used to have to banish Hertz for Cyberload to keep the Core on the board to bounce with Yomengander for heals for Rob. Because we're not going that line, we can use the Core on field as our fusion material. Bam. Now we use this one's effect to dump 2 more. This time we're going to dump Union Driver and Cyber Dragon. Now we could summon Therion King, equip the Union Driver. Now, believe it or not, there's another play we could put into the deck. I haven't put it in yet, but it would be specifically for this line right here, because we have 3 level 5s, chat. Sorry, comment section, where we could go into the dice guy, where it basically stops a player from whoever rolls higher from using monster effects. And if you have an extra material on it, you can manipulate the dice roll. We can do that and shut our opponent down completely, but that's not what we're here for. Instead, we're gonna go Nova with these 2. Bang. Detach. The only downside here that I really see is that since we don't play Fusion Substitute, we can't get Rampage back into the extra deck. So we need to be careful there, because the only way for us to get Rampage back from the grave would be to use Naxter. So, and then of course we still get our quick play spell. So again, 5 or 6 negates, 1-card combo. We're still where we had 1 extra card in our last combo, so we would have 5 cards in it. This one we would have 4. And no, we don't want to use this. We want to set this. Bang. So those are the 2 main combos that we're building around. If you guys see a way I could have refined that better, or if we can find a way to do it without the brick of Union Driver, because I don't really like Union Driver, because Union Driver you don't want to see in hand. Just let me know down in the comments. But let me show you guys some quick footage, and then we'll call it for the video. All right, so this one, I'll be honest with you, I do not win. As you guys can see, we are up against Raziel Mitsu. His hand is pretty dog shit too, and we're going first. And we opened up like everything we could possibly ask for. The only downside is that he ends up with a Fuwalos. And just look at the board we still managed to assemble. Claw, Core, this is where we get Fuud. We chain Inazuma, because remember, Inazuma becomes a quick effect when he activates an effect in hand. Now, I ended up playing into the Fua. I didn't have to, but I wanted to see how far I could push it. So Inazuma dumps Lupus. Lupus summons itself, overlay into Ripper. Fua lets him draw a card. Ripper lets us search. We search the quick play spell. We go into Realm, and then we go into our normal Cyber Dragon line. Unfortunately, I didn't know what he was running, or I might have actually saved the Clockwork Knight. But we ditched the Union Driver. We equipped the Human Driver. Summon IP Masquerena. That was an accident. I did that because I was trying to do different things. I could have went into SP Little Knight with this. I don't know why I went to IP Masquerena, but here we are. Summon back the worm. This is my first time actually like having both core as a starter and having Inazuma to be able to play. So I had extra body, so I was trying to figure out how far I could push it. But we ended up power bonding, banishing the 2 monsters. Summon Rampage. Rampage dumps 2. We went into Nova. He tried to Nibiru us. We negated with Ripper, which sucks because now Ripper doesn't have a negate anymore. So we bring back Cyber Dragon. We overlay into Infinity. And now we overlay into a second Ripper. That way when we go into our opponent's turn, we still have a Ripper available. And as I said before, it's really easy to make 2 Rippers, but now we can use Liberation on the Ripper with no material and still get a Werewolf out. So we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 interruptions, potentially 6. And we have Cyberload Fusion, so if they end up playing a card face down, end up playing anything face down, we can Cyberload Fusion into Rampage to pop back row, and we drew into another Inazuma, which by itself can make us a rank 5 on our opponent's turn, which sets up for Nash. Now, watch how crazy this gets. First off, we're playing against Mitsu Raizio. Look how many cards we gave him. I know it sucks. We played into the Fuo, we tried, but... So he goes at Bonfire, searches a fire monster, starts doing that, aggregators to negate. We negate the aggregator. Oh, well, he does the chain weird, because he aggregators and then uses the X Raziel's effect. So we're able to negate X Raziel before he negates Infinity. Kind of weird. So we IP Masquerena into SP Little Knight to banish. And we got rid of... Maybe I should have got rid of the Infinity because the Infinity's dead. But then again, so was the Ripper. The way I saw I could still use this Ripper's effect. But it might have been better for me to go into Werewolf earlier since he negated Infinity. But we banish 1, now he goes into Detonator, we activate Inazuma in hand. He tries to hit our... So this is why Detonator is crazy, because he tried to Detonator our board to pop. We tried to negate it with Regulus, he goes to pop again. Like, not even once per chain is crazy. So now he goes to pop Ripper, we overlay Ripper into Werewolf, since he targeted Ripper, it doesn't matter anymore. But now we have Werewolf. He attaches Aggregator, it goes to pop again. We Werewolf to peek his hand and rip a card. I ripped the Mitsu card. He already has a million searches, so it's like, doesn't even matter. Bring back Lupus. Now he's doing his searches. He ends up with another copy of his starter, which sucked. Now we go into Nash. Try to banish. He nibs us. The fact that he was able to nib us, we had summoned 5 monsters on his turn. That's not something we've ever been able to do with Cyber Dragon, but that's because of the Canine engine. I just thought it was cool that we could do it. Look at the size of that fucking rock, but he ends up being able to kill the rock. And unfortunately, we were not able to stop him completely. Could we have stopped him if he hadn't drawn a million cards? Maybe. What would you guys have done in that situation? Should I have played into the Fua and maybe done my negates a little different? Let me know down in the comments. But we got one more game to jump into. So this one was fun. This one was us going second against Blue Eyes. So he starts off with Ether Barrel. We negate it with Imperm. He goes into Spirit Blue Eyes. We ash that. Probably didn't need to ash that. That was probably me being greedy, stopping him from getting Mausoleum. But then he follows up with Prayer, so I'm like, oh shit, I should have shaved the ash. But now he does Maiden in Hand. So now that he did Maiden in Hand, he just turned on our canines. So we summon Izuna. Izuna dumps Lupus. He goes into Heavenly Spears. All right, I will say, I feel like this guy misplayed a little bit, but maybe I'm missing something. So he went to use his trap card to set. I summon Lupus. Oh, to summon Blue Eyes, I'm sorry. He goes to bring back Maiden. We Lupus into Nash. We use Nash to attach 2. And then we attach the Blue Eyes. He has no other Blue Eyes. His turn's over. Why he didn't have any Spears to bounce Nash, I don't know. As far as I could tell, he could have bounced Nash and summoned the Blue Eyes from the deck. I don't know what happened there. We're going to keep going. Even if he had, he would have went into my turn with no interruptions. Though he might have, if he had, he could have saved the blue eyes. So I was still very confused as to why he didn't do it. If you guys could tell me why he couldn't do it, let me know in the comments. But we go to Nash his Heavenly Spears. He effect bailers us. We're like, okay. We go to Lupus. He Heavenly Spears now, getting rid of Nash. Again, I don't know why. But now we have an extra level 5. He brings out Jet Dragon. We K9 for... So we K9 for... We K9 for Joe Cool because we have Cyber Dragon in hand. We still, the thing is, the rest of our hand doesn't matter because we have Cyber Dark Realm. That's the only card we need in Cyber Dragon to be able to go off. Like I said, Cyber Dragon has a million 1-card starters now. I know 12 is not a lot in some people's minds, but that's all we need for an OTK. That's all we need for a setup. Right now, we're just trying to bait. So we Joe Cool in Cyber Dragon. We overlay into Ripper to search. That might have been greedy, but I didn't expect him to have an effect in hand. But we go Werewolf. This is me trying to figure, I kept on seeing notifications that he had something. I know he has the trap card face down, Majesty, which can pop. And he has 1 blue eyes, but he hasn't popped anything yet. So I'm trying to give him reasons to pop. So now we Realm, like he could have popped the Realm. I don't know what this guy was doing. But now he goes to Druids. So this was another misplay on his part. Let me rewind. So we sent Chimera, we dumped Worm, we activated Worm in Grave, sending sending Cyber Dragon Core. This guy Druids Worms the Core. I don't know why, but he did. I also made a massive misplay. So we get back the Worm, and then we swap the Worm for the Chimera. My misplay here was searching Power Bond. I should have Clockwork Knight his board away first. That was my mistake. Remember, once you use Cyber Dark Chimera, you're locked into only using Cyber Monsters as fusion material, which you're going to see right now. I go Clockwork Knight, and I end up accidentally clicking to fuse my monsters together. And I'm like, whatever, we need Cyber Dragon in the graveyard anyway. So we Power Bond into Rampage. We use Rampage to affect the dump too. Now we get a Core for our normal summon. We normal summon Core. Get Cyber Load. Now, the reason I stopped here, I could have kept on going into Infinity, but if I use Cyber Load Fusion, I can't attack him. As far as I could tell, he was out of interruptions. All I had to worry about was the Druid's Worm that sends to Graveyard. So, with the 4700 Rampage that can attack 3 times, I'm going to be pushing for game, and let's do the math here. So my plan was to swing into his monsters individually, with the last attack of Rampage being on Druid's Worm. So now he's gonna be forced to pop Wolf, because Wolf is at 47. But if you do the math, watch. Now I thought I did this in the wrong order. As far as I knew, when I kill one of his monsters by battle, he should be able to bring back Jet, right? If this card is on the field, is destroyed by battle card effect, you could special summon. So I didn't know why he didn't bring this back. And then he should have been able to target one of my cards and return it to hand too. So that was my misplay. In reality, I should have swung Maiden first. I don't know what I would have done. Well, I would have swung Maiden, Druid's Worm. Now he has to get rid of one of these. Then the last one would have swung Jet. And then I would have continued the play that I was going to do regardless. So it would have ended up exactly the same way. I misplayed by attacking the Jet first. But I attacked the Druid's Worm, so now he gets to send a monster. This was another weird one. Not that it mattered, I just thought it was weird. He ends up sending the Fortress to the grave. And I was just like, why? Because now 2 attacks and he's dead. But after attacking into Druid's Worm, he's down to 53. Let's do the math. My Fortress was at 25. This makes it 35, 44. And then I had Cyberload Fusion for these guys to make Rampage, which would have been another 21, which would have put me up to 65, which he's at 53. That would have been game regardless. Regardless, I had game on board. Minus, my misplay. But this was a great example of what this deck can do when the engines combine together. I had so many options I didn't know what to do. All right, guys, here's one more look at the deck. Now, hot take, I don't think this is the best version of the deck. It is good. It is good. And if you open up the right cards, it can be as good, if not better than the Fiendsmith side. I still think the Fiendsmith is the better overall engine. It's easier to bridge into. It carries itself. It's extremely self-sustaining, and you can protect yourself from certain hand traps a little bit easier. But I think if you're playing a going second variant, K9 is better because it gives you access to extra hand traps, because you can Nash is disgusting on turn 0. The fact that you can do that during your opponent's turn before you even had the chance to play is just crazy. Izuna, if you open up Izuna, you feel so powerful even during your opponent's first turn. There's only a few decks out right now that can even not use their hand and graveyard effects. So, but let me know how you guys are feeling about this version of the deck. Let me know what text you're trying. If you think I should change some stuff up, I like it. Also, let me know what you think about the extra deck. Side deck is whatever, but the extra deck, the only card I'm in here that I'm seriously thinking about taking out is IP, because I like never go into it, and throwing in another Ripper. And if I can, I would love to throw in another Werewolf, especially since Liberation can reset itself. We don't have any way to recur our XYZs right now. Otherwise, we'd be able to keep the numbers much lower. If you guys want to check me out on social media, those links will be down below. If you guys want to see me stream, check out the stream schedule on YouTube and Twitch. I post every week, and I would love to have you guys for the next Yu-Gi-Oh stream. That's going to be it from me. Thank you guys for all your support. I'll catch you on the next video. Oh, on the way out, they just announced a new machine archetype that's almost as self-sustaining as Fiendsmith, and just to start it is any 2 machines, which Cyber Dragons. So we might be messing with that too. But till then, catch you guys later.
In my eyes, I was born for this. I got demons on my side, you ain't right like this. I got reason to believe I don't need it from my gifts. Only I can change the world and it go like this.